is Women's Empowered Podcast, and I'm here with Gelareh. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. And she is with Gelaxband. Is that how you say it?
Well, it comes from my name, so it's Gilax.
Gilax. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Right. Um. So we were just chatting a little bit before the podcast about you moved from the Middle East to Canada.
Yes, I did.
You want to tell us a little bit about the Middle East and your experience there?
Well, yeah, there's a big difference in the Middle East compared to the Western world. Um, there's a lot of limitations for women in general. For me, it was singing, which I cannot perform as a female artist. Um, I cannot do shows. I cannot throw a concert. I cannot record my voice. At the time that I moved out of my country, they were starting to send notifications that if you like to even guys who collaborate with women, they would imprison them or they would shut down their business or stuff like that. So a bunch of my friends got imprisoned, but they fled the country after. Um, so I had to move out. I had to get out.
Yeah, that's insane to think about. Why do they not allow women to sing?
Um, there are millions of rules that I don't understand or nobody else does, but it's just there. I guess it's to protect men. That's that's all I can come up with.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like, if there was a rhyme or a reason like they give.
I no, that's a joke. But um, in the Islamic way, a woman's voice could be stimulation, or I don't know what it is, but it triggers it triggers something. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah,
that's why it's not allowed.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So all your friends, they're out. They came to Canada with you, or?
One of them just recently, well, not recently, last year, she went to Germany. Um, she was sentenced to be in prison for 2 years. Um, but but hope like she got out of the country before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
She managed to get out of the country, and then she went to Germany and stayed there illegally for a while, and then applied as a humanitarian or a refugee. I don't really know what she did, but
Right.
yeah, she managed to stay there.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So how's Canada?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just cold, but that's okay. Yeah.
Right. That's all right. So tell us about your band and what you guys do. I watched a few of your videos. It's very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Well, as soon as I moved to Canada, like the very first night, actually, I put an ad on Craigslist, looking for band members and stuff. And after I think 3 4 months, yeah, I met Tarek, which is our guitarist at the moment, and we started writing songs and hustling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went through a bunch of bandmates, which didn't work out. And finally, right now, we're recording. We're working with a producer, and we have our bassist and our drummer. And our last single, which is called Mr. Square, is about the the harassment that goes on in the world against women in general.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I saw it, a very flashy video. I saw it up on Instagram the other day. Like, I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, it's about that.
Very nice. That's awesome that you're making music about that.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you gotta make music that you connect to. You like you have
Yes.
yeah, you have to have something to talk about it. And that's my way to talk about my issues.
Very nice. So do you guys all work together to write songs or um
It's mostly me and Tarek. We write down, come up with ideas, and then we record a demo or something, and then we send it to our drummer and our bassist, and they put their touch on it. And then at the end, we take it to our producer. He puts his spin on it, and then it comes out, mixing and mastering, and yeah, the final one.
very nice. Um what is like your process when you're writing? Is there something you do to kind of get yourself in the mood to write?
Actually, it's more. It comes up more from conversations that we have. Um, it's like if I'm frustrated about not having time or um, financial issues or what's going on in the world in general, it triggers me. And then we start talking about it, and like I start gathering information about that aspect from different perspectives, and then I write the lyrics based on that, and then Tarek writes his emotional part through guitar. Yeah,
Very nice. That's awesome. It
yeah.
it seems to be like I read Stephen King has a book about writing and I don't know, I love horror movies and stuff. So I read his book and that's how he came up with a lot of his movies too and a lot of his screenplays is
Oh,
it was
really?
yeah, it was just everyday conversation like the movie Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
That one, him and his, I believe, brother-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
like took a janitorial job cleaning school bathrooms, and he didn't know what's was in ladies' restrooms.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah,
Interesting.
so the little quarter machine is what triggered like that whole scene. That's where he started off was in the bathroom scene because he didn't know about like the little tampon machines and stuff.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
You should check it out. It's a good classic horror movie. I don't know if you like horror movies.
I used to. I just stopped watching them because it yeah, it put a mental issue on
Oh, oh no.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why like I have the hardest time getting creeped out. Like I think maybe I don't even remember what movie it was. I think there was only one that like actually scared me a little bit.
Which one?
That's all I'm trying to think. Like I can't remember. I've got a horrible memory. I get migraines and so like I swear sometimes like my memory gets wiped a little bit and like I have trouble remembering things. It's terrible. My husband gets so frustrated sometimes.
That's
he,
okay.
yeah, he's usually my reminder. Like he's got a great memory and he'll just snap to you. It was this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's my
You
memory.
know when you remember.
Yeah, him and my kids. They'll remind me of everything.
Awesome.
Yeah. Do you read? Are you doing any reading right now?
I am reading Why We Sleep right now.
Oh, what's that about?
Um, Sleeping.
Well, yeah.
Well, I just actually started it. I'm not far off, but it's about it's about why we actually sleep, and later on it goes to the dreaming part of like why I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that
hmm
explains why we dream, and then why is it essential for us to sleep? All kinds of stuff like that. Because
That
I'm,
sounds
I'm
interesting.
a fan of, well, actually, our guitarist is a big, huge fan of Radiohead. And Tom York, the singer of Radiohead, based his, I think, last album or maybe last song um, based on that book. That's why I started reading it.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out. I love Radiohead too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got it from them. I was interested to see what's it about.
Very nice. I'll have to take a look and see. That is interesting. Like, I love those sciencey, like,
Yeah,
kind of, and see why. Like, I know, when you go to sleep, it's to clear your brain and like your body regenerates and rebuilds and repairs and everything. But that would be cool to check out and see
exactly.
more.
Yeah, I gotta read a little more to see what it's about.
Right. Any tips or tricks that help you like reset when you've had a long day or you're frustrated?
I don't really, huh? Not really, no. I'm not a person to hold stuff in general. So I think it's a memory issue. Yeah, so my memory doesn't hold a lot of stuff. So even anger, frustration, or something like that, it just stays there for like 10, 15 minutes, and I just forget about it. Yeah,
Right? I can completely understand
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I forget about it. But I guess watching stuff just distracts me from everyday like normal problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel better like after you write a song? Like you said, when stuff bothers you or you're talking about something, you write a song. Do you think maybe that could help you release some of that?
Well, writing a song is it takes a long time to write a song
Mm-hmm.
for me. So it's not like I would write a song and it would just be done instantly. So it takes like maybe months to even come up with the lyrics of a song or the whole concept or the whole song or the musical part of it. Um, but during that time, it's very frustrating because you want to do you want to finish it, you want to get it somewhere, but it's not happening. You get writer's block or just everyday life issues just come up. You don't have time, stuff like that. But once it's done, yes, it absolutely gives me. It's the best feeling.
Very nice. Yeah,
It's like your child. It's like your creation or something like that.
absolutely. Like it just seems, I don't know. I've never tried to write a song, but it just seems like it would be a way to get stuff out, but at the same time I can see your point of it being a little frustrating cuz
Yeah.
it
I mean, if you would write songs for yourself, that's calming and soothing and stuff like that. But if you have deadlines and if you have to get it out and it becomes not like a job, but expectation from other people, record labels, stuff like that, that you have to get it out at a certain time and do certain things and whatever. And then there's the business side of it, which you have to promote it and doing stuff like that, which is really frustrating. Um, but aside from all of those, it's the best journey I've chosen to get on.
yeah, and
Yeah,
you've come such a long way too.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you learn like where did you learn to sing since it was like such shunned upon where you were from? Like how did you find that?
So I started playing piano and taking piano lessons. And then I got kicked out because I wasn't practicing. Um, and then my teacher told me that you should sing. You should try singing. And then I always liked to sing since I was a kid, but I didn't know anyone that would teach singing. So I started researching. There was this lady that used to teach like underground. Well, it's not that everything is illegal, but still you can find everything and do anything. So I found this. this lady who would teach, and I started from there.
Yeah,
It's
that's cool.
it was really hard to get on YouTube because it's all banned and we can't really use these websites without proxies and it's really slow internet. So online practicing or online learning was not a choice.
Oh wow, that's interesting to think
Well,
about too.
it's better now.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
that's
yeah,
that's
I'm
good. You found somebody that teaches. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Are there any women that you look up to that empower you?
Oh yeah. Lots. Lots.
You want to give us an example of a couple of them?
Well, the most cliche one is Oprah Winfrey.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's still good though. Like, it's all good.
She was always my like since I was really like not really young but younger.
Mm.
Um, she was always an inspiration. Um, a lot of women, female singers in the industry as well, stronger women. Um, right now, it's kind of Annie Calvi. She's a singer.
Hmm.
She's pretty strong. Um, and I love her voice. Yeah, there are a bunch, but since my memory doesn't really work well,
It's
whenever
all
I think of something, it's just gone.
yeah. It's all good. No, it's always interesting to take a little, you know, to see who inspires someone else and, maybe just a couple name throws out there and somebody else could find, some information
Yeah.
and it can help somebody else. So I always love asking that question. And especially to find out women cuz like Oprah's got a huge voice. She's come a long way and she's put it out there,
Yeah, exactly.
and there's a few women here and there, but it's not as prevalent as men, and we don't speak as loud as men sometimes. And so it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's always good, especially all the way across the world, or not even across the world, but you're, all the way in Canada, so you guys might have somebody, that's amazing there that we haven't heard about in the US yet.
Yes, I know. That's absolutely true. I'm trying to remember, and I know I have a lot, but I'm trying to remember.
It's all good.
I'll
If
let
you
you
think
know
of
later.
more, just throw them at me
Yeah, I
sometime.
will.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, is there a time
Oh,
that you,
my mom is my
your
biggest.
mom?
Yeah, she is a really strong woman, and she raised us by herself. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That had to have been difficult. Like, what was that like being a single mom in that country? Like,
it's a little challenging. It was before at her time because it was hard to find a place as a single mom to rent
mhm.
even like even even to that even in that aspect.
Yeah,
But in general, as a single moms are, in my opinion, are really brave in general. And
absolutely.
yeah, because they do a big job. It's really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I always look up to her in that sense. She was always strong.
absolutely. It definitely takes a lot of work, and then so many things like, a place to rent.
Yeah,
And then working and taking care of
as
kids,
as a
making dinner,
yeah,
making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be at the same time. Yeah, no,
exactly.
definitely.
She managed it.
Well, I'm glad she did. She did an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Look at you. You made it all the way to Canada and you're using your voice and you're a big star.
Oh, come on.
Well, I found you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, your
Um,
videos are awesome. Like you guys got some good production going on, you know. Like I said, I'll have to listen to that new song.
yeah.
The flashing was a little tough for me. Like I had to scroll past it because the flashing lights are a
Yeah.
little rough for me. But I'll definitely like put it on and not look at the camera.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair.
Was there a time that you felt most empowered in your life?
Yes. I think everybody has that time. Or maybe not.
I
Um,
think so.
but yeah, there are times that you feel hopeless, and I went through a depression mode when I was back home. Um, that was the time, I guess, if I could I could say that was the period that I felt like really hopeless. I couldn't do anything. I like literally couldn't do anything. I had no hope for anything. Yeah. But luckily I got through it, and
Yeah, what
yeah.
did you do to get through it?
I saw a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
Yeah, he helped me a lot.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's so important, and that's one of the things that I've touched on a few times is mental health and therapy, and it's okay to go see a psychiatrist, and it's important.
yeah. It's like any other issue that you have. Like you have a, I don't know, sore throat. You would go see a doctor. Why not for mental health?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's definitely coming up in the world, and more people are talking about it and kind of breaking down that stigma that it's okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay. I remember there was a time that, I mean, not long ago, but people were like, I would tell my friends to go see a psychiatrist, and they would be like, they would freak out at me and say, I'm not crazy. But
Yeah.
it's not about being crazy or anything. It's just that you have an issue. You would go see the person that would solve your issue.
Yeah,
And as simple as that.
most definitely. And I think it's still a little scary because back in like the 1920s, at least I know in the US, like psychology and all that was like still really new. And it was really scary because they had asylums everywhere. They were
Yeah.
doing electroshock therapy. Like I know, before I started like doing a little more research and stuff into it, like that's what I still, kind of thought of was
Yeah.
those horror movies where like, it's a dirty asylum and stuff. Yeah. So I think people might get a little scared maybe thinking,
There's no shot. There's no electroshock
yeah.
anymore.
No, no, there's not at all. They
Yeah.
got rid of that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, therapy's come a long way and the doctors have come a long way. And it's most definitely something that
Yeah.
people need to look into a little more and we need to speak out a little more about it. And so everybody knows, it's okay and it's not scary.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
absolutely. It's like talking to someone. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
it helps. It absolutely helps. Well, it helped me at least.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to go through that anymore.
No, that's depression's not fun and it's
No, not at all.
no. Do you have any words of advice for a younger generation?
Um, yes, it might sound weird, But look at yourself in the mirror and just tell yourself that you can do it. I mean, every day there's going to be a problem, but that's all there. Like in anything, in everything, there's going to be problems all the time. But it's just small steps. Just take your first step, and the second step will come, and then doors will open. And you never know. It's not going to be the way you imagined it to be, ever. But it's good. The actual thing is going to come in the weirdest way.
That's very nice. That's and so true. Like we do need to tell ourselves that we love ourselves more, and
Yeah.
it's definitely a good thing to do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because when I was planning to come to Canada, I actually planned to go to US.
Hmm.
My first goal was to get out of the country, but I didn't know where, and it's really hard for Iranians to get a visa to go anywhere. Um, so I always had US in my head, and I didn't even think about Canada until I applied to US in Europe and England and Italy and Austria and like anywhere you can imagine.
Yeah.
And then just Canada popped up, and it just went in the weird, like the application went through a very weird process, which I was like hopeless. I thought it wasn't going to go through, but it did. I did all I could, but I didn't have any hope. But it did.
That's cool. Like it just kind of happened. The universe or whatever just took
Yeah,
care of you.
exactly. It does.
Yeah. Very awesome. But you put your foot out there, and that's one of the big steps is
Exactly. Just
yes.
take the first step, and the rest of it is going to come.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. You have been a wonderful guest, and my very last question is an inspirational quote that helps you through hard times.
That's a hard one.
I know, it's always the last one and it's always a little tricky.
Really?
Yes. Is there like something you say to yourself when you're having like a hard time that just kind of like helps you get through it?
It might be Nike. Just do it.
Well, there you go. That's easy.
Well, that was not an inspirational quote that I had in mind, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do. So just do
Yeah.
it.
It's simple, clean, and it works. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. I don't think they really thought it was that big of a deal when they made it.
exactly. But yeah, I just have to tell myself, just get up and do it.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, that concludes my podcast. Thank you for being on my show.
Thank you for hosting and thank you for having me. It was
Absolutely.
awesome to meet you and talk to you.
Yes. And hopefully this won't be the last time. I'm hoping that I can come back and revisit my guests. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, hopefully I'll meet you in person.
Yeah, if you ever come to Las Vegas, I'm
Oh,
here in
yeah.
Vegas. Yeah, maybe you guys can come
Okay.
play a show here or something.
So hopefully we will.
All right.
I'll let you know.